Hey everybody, it's your girl Nefarious, and today I'm going to walk you through how to sew the Elowyn, which is this one. The Elowyn will come in 3 different sizes. The first size will be the regular size. So I would say this is about 10 inches tall, 9 inches wide approximately, and about 1.5 inches, thick at most. It does have a slip pocket. And then it also has lots of room on the inside and an internal zip pocket. So this would be considered the regular size. There will also be a small version or a micro version. I'm not sure what Alex is going to go with yet on how to name this, but this is approximately 60% of the original size. The small version is approximately about 8 inches wide and just shy of 8 inches tall, and it is almost 1.25 inches thick. It also has the slip pocket and also has a zip pocket inside. And finally, you have the original full size. This bad boy is about 13 inches wide and close to about the same in height. Maybe a little bit taller, closer to 14 inches. This is almost 2 inches thick, and it also has the slip pocket, and on the inside, same as the other two, lots of room and a zip pocket. Now, what I absolutely love about the Elowyn, besides its name, which has a lot of special meaning to me, is that these are blank canvases. So the cut and sews are going to have everything to make this bag, but essentially it's going to be your bag to make and do with as you want. So for now, let's jump into it so you can see how to make your very own Elowyn. Alright, general tools that I am going to be using include my awl, some double-sided tape. I've got multiple sizes here. I've got 1/8, 1/4, and 1/2 inch. I've got marking tools. I've got various ones. I've got a pair of snips. I've got an X-Acto knife. I've got a turning tool. I've got my lighter, just in case. A ruler, this is from More Me Know. I've got my rivet guide, got my hole punch, and I've got my clips just in case. I kind of was like, I'm missing something here. These are my general tools that I'll be using throughout my video. Elowyn comes in 3 sizes. You have the extra large, the regular, and then you have like the mini version. The biggest difference here, besides obviously the size of the bag, is how much zipper tape you need. The construction is exactly the same. It takes the same number of zipper pulls, the same size D-rings. The D-ring connectors are the same. It's got the exact same construction. It's just obviously the size of the bag. And if the bag is bigger, you need longer zipper tape. I will give you those measurements here in just a second. So I will walk you through what we need. We need 2 D-ring connectors. You need 2 1-inch D-rings. You need 2 zipper pulls, and you need your zipper tab. If you are doing the large Elowyn or the extra large, however you want to say it, you're going to need 1 11.5 cut of zipper tape, and then you're going to need an 8.5 cut of zipper tape. If you are doing the regular size, you're going to need a 8.5 cut and a 6-inch cut. And if you're doing the mini size, you'll need a 6.5 cut and a 5-inch cut. I'm doing the large size so you can see everything. So I have an 11.5 cut and an 8.5 cut here. So I'll scoot that to the side. You are going to have a couple pieces here, so let's walk through it. I have a zip facing, and then I have a zip lining and a top zip lining. You'll note that those are 2 different sizes. I have a main inside lining. I have 2 of those. And then I have a top back lining and a bottom back lining. That's going to make sense here in just a minute. I have a bottom back panel, a top back panel, and a front back panel. And that's it. That is the Elowyn. I mean, clearly you're also going to need like your tri-glide slider. You're going to need 2 swivel hooks and then 56 inches of webbing or so to make your webbing strap. I'm going to do a separate video making a webbing strap, but that will not be a primary focus for this video. When you are cutting out your lining, we've said this in other videos, use your exterior to cut out your linings, especially on the main panel. So use your front panel to cut out the main inside lining, and then use your bottom back panel to cut out your bottom back lining. This one I'm not too worried about, but this one, just so you're aware, you want to do that. Then you want to go and find your top centers on all of your pieces. It'll make your life 1000% easier, trust me. I mean, this is a very easy bag. This is a very beginner-friendly bag, but just do it. It'll help keep your bag nice and even. And so we're just going to jump right into it. And as you know, Nefarious likes to do a bunch of stuff before we go to the sewing machine. So I'm going to go ahead and set this piece to the side. I'll set this to the side. All of this can go to the side, everything away. I'm grabbing my D-rings, and on the back, I'm going to draw a line down the center. And then I'm going to use some double-sided tape. Maybe. And I'm going to line those up with the center line that I have drawn. What we are going to do is at the machine, we will sew a 1/4 inch stitch all the way around. So for right now, I'm going to set that to the side. I'm going to take my long piece, so whichever zipper or whatever Elowyn bag you are working with, this is exactly the same for all 3 sizes. You're going to take your long zipper. So on the large version, that's 11.5. On the regular version, that's 8.5, and on the small version, that's 6.5. You're going to take your long zipper, and then you're going to go ahead and put your zipper pull on it. On one end, you're going to line your zipper tab up. And we will sew that down at a 1/4 inch. And then we'll do some other things there. On this other end, we are going to open that all the way up. And then very similar to a couple other bag patterns I have done, specifically thinking the Ira wallet right now. If you've seen that, I'm going to turn this down. I think some people call this like the butler method. So I bring this down and I fold it to where it's literally on top of itself. Maybe like a 1/2 inch. And some people stitch this, some people pin this, some people are like super capable of burning this and it doesn't move. I'm going to try to burn it, and then I'm going to put a stitch there so it doesn't move. And then you can set that to the side. I'm going to take my zip facing. I need a bigger ruler. Where's my bigger ruler? There it is. I am going to measure down 1.5 inches. And then I'm going to measure down 1/2 inch from there. And then I'm going to bring it in 1 1/4 inches. Whoops, easy Nefarious. Come over here and measure 1 1/4 inches. That should work. Perfect. Your zipper box should measure 6 7/8. That looks good. Yep, we are good. So we've got that. And then we're going to take one of your, so once you get the box, that should measure approximately 6 7/8. Make sure you have found your center. Find your center on one of your main panels here, because you are going to line that up. Now here you are able to, you're welcome to use a little double-sided tape on the other side. I think I might actually do that. Hold on. So you're going to want to find the center of your zipper facing, the center of your main panel, and then what I am going to do, again, this is entirely preference, I am going to measure 1/2 inch down, mostly because I've already put 1 1/2 inch down. I'm just going to move this, so this will put it approximately 1 3/4 inches from the top. I think that's plenty. And then I'm going to use a little double-sided tape to hold this in place because I don't want to use any pins. So I'm going to do that. Do that again. 1/2 inch. All right. I'm going to set this to the side as well. All right, so now I'm going to get the top panel, or top bottom panel. Then I'm going to get the top back lining. All right, I misspoke a little bit. You're going to want to find the center on this one at the top, and you're going to want to find the center on the bottom of this piece. That was a misspoke on my part. And then you are going to put right sides together, lining those centers up. All right, and then we're going to set that to the side. Then you're going to get your bottom back panel, the bottom back lining. You're going to put right sides together, lining up your centers. You're going to clip those together. And now we are going to recap everything we are taking to the sewing machine. So we have our bottom back panel and lining, which are clipped together. We have our top back lining and our top back panel clipped together. We have our zipper facing and our main inside lining pinned together, taped together with a 1.5 inches down. This should measure about, what did I say, 6 7/8 down. We have our zipper tape, which has that Butler method done, which is about 1/2 inch folded in on itself. We have our zipper tab clipped in place where we are going to sew 1/4 inch, and then we are going to fold this around on itself. And then we have our 2 D-rings, which is where we're going to stitch 1/4 inch all the way around. So with this done, we are going to go to the sewing machine. I'm going to start with the zipper. I'm going to attach the zipper tab at 1/4 inch. Once I do that, I'm going to fold this over, and then I'm going to fold it over again, keeping it nice and flush, and then I'm going to top stitch it right across 1/8 of an inch. Now I'll do my D-rings. I'm going to work on my pocket. What I'm going to do is I'm going to backstitch really good at the beginning and the end. I'm going to go around and then come back, backstitching really good at the end. So then I'll set this to the table. I'm going to stitch this at 1/4 of an inch, maybe. And then I'm going to fold it down so that the seam is going that way. And then I'm going to top stitch it at 1/8 of an inch. To the side. Going to do the same thing. I'm going to move you slightly out of the way so I don't keep bumping you. Go. 1/4 of an inch. Now I'm going to flip this out. Going to give that a good press, and then I'm going to might use a couple clips to help get this going for me. Now I'm going to top stitch. I'm going to pivot, and then I'm going to base this down at 1/8 of an inch. To help you line your pieces up, you're going to want to use your second front panel, and then you're going to line your top bottom panel to the very top of that. You can line your centers up if you want. And then you're going to take your bottom back panel, and then you're going to line that up. And all 3 sets of corners need to line up. That is the idea here. So you line those up really nice and neat, and then you have you should have two panels that come together to be the same size. You will clip this, and then you will baste that together at 1/8 of an inch. After you have taken care of your back panel, we're going to look at our zipper. So what we need to do here, and you're welcome to do this however you want to. I'm going to draw some triangles here, and then a line to connect those. I'm going to use a rotary cutter just to cut that line, and you want to go through both layers. And then I will use some sharp snips to cut those triangles, making sure you do not cut your threads. You just want to get as close to that corner without cutting your threads. I am going to fold that up. I'm going to fold that up, give that a good crease. I'm going to give that a nice crease. I'm going to give that a really nice crease. And then I'm going to pull it through. I'm going to use some weights to hold this down for me. And set that to the side. I'm going to take my two D-rings. I'm going to go ahead and slide my D-ring connectors on. Just clip them for right now. And then we're going to grab our second piece of zipper tape. I am going to cinch it a little bit so that it doesn't keep fraying on me. And I'm going to use 1/8 inch. Well, first I am going to find the center because I didn't do that already. Alright, so I'm going to flip this over, and then I'm going to apply some 1/8 inch double-sided tape to the back side. Then I'm going to peel one side off. And I'm going to, at this moment it doesn't matter which is which, but you do want to put the right side facing the wrong side of your zipper. So it looks like this. And then you're going to take your, oops. Maybe. Come on, you can do it. And then you're going to do the same thing for the other side. Right sides together. Lining that up. Nice and pretty. And as you can see, what we want to do is that when we're going to baste these together at 1/8 of an inch, both sides, and then when we attach it, like so, this should it'll be off maybe 1/4 of an inch, but it'll not be like this huge gap that you sometimes get with bag making. It should be fairly close, especially with it being at like a printer. It's actually pretty decent. That's actually 1/2 inch, but that's fine. So I'm going to take this to the machine, and we are going to base that at 1/8 of an inch on both sides. So I'll set that here for now. Actually, I think we need to go to the machine. Let's recap what needs to go to the sewing machine. We're going to take our zipper pocket panels here. So we're going to base these at 1/8 of an inch on both sides. We'll set that there. And then we are going to take this piece. Remember, we lined this piece up with the main front panel. And then we took our bottom pack panel piece and we lined up the corners so that all 3 pieces, corners lined up. And then I clipped this bottom back panel to the top bottom panel so that this piece is the same size as that piece. And that'll give us our 2 front main panels. And I'm going to base this together. So those are what I am taking to the machine. I am also going to take my 2 D-rings because I will turn around and base those onto this panel as I stab myself. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. All right, so I'm just basting this down at 1/8 of an inch. We'll set that to the side. Now I'm going to base these down. Now with your D-rings, if you are doing the 75, for your D-rings, if you're doing the regular or the large, if you put them right above the slip pocket, I mean you have them resting right here above the slip pocket, you will be fine. If you are doing the mini or the micro or whatever we're going to call it today, you're going to want to put it halfway on the pocket. That way it leaves you with enough space and it's not going to be like that when you try to turn it out. So again, if you're doing the regular or the large, you're going to want to put it above the pocket. If you're doing the mini or the micro, whatever we're calling it, you're going to put it halfway. The D-ring is going to be halfway on the pocket. Or if you just want to put it halfway on all of them, that's fine too. But I like how it looks here. And then you're going to have it overhang 1/2 inch. So I'm going to measure this 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to base these down really good. I'm going to snip those strings. We're going to go back to the table and start putting this thing together. So I lied. All right, we're going to attach, we need a zipper pull. We're going to attach the zipper pocket to the main inside. Now, you can choose to finish this pocket and turn from the bottom of the bag, or you can birth from the pocket and finish the bottom of the bag, or you can leave both the bottom of the bag and the pocket unfinished, birth from the bottom of the bag, and do there's lots of different ways you could do this. Since this is the bigger one, I will not be finishing this pocket, and I will birth from this pocket. However, from the 70 or from the regular size and the micros or the mini size, I did finish the pocket and birth from the bag, from the bottom of the bag. Your choice entirely. I think on the mini I specifically did the bottom of the bag, but the 75 or for the regular size, I left this open and the pocket, which I'm glad I did because it allowed me to push things out and then I could go back and make it look all nice and neat. So your choice, your bag. Once you get your zipper pull on, you can use a little bit of tape. And then I'm going to explain again why there are two different size pockets. Because I promise there was method to my madness. So when this pocket is done and sitting here, it should look something like this on the back. So as you can see, they're almost, I mean, there's a little bit of differences, and that's probably just because of the printer, but the regular size and the mini size didn't have this much of a gap. I think the regular size was maybe 1/8 of an inch. The mini was perfect. So this is what we're going to do. So what you want to do is when you have your zipper tape ready to go, you're going to put the top zip lining to the back. So when we are attaching it, the fat piece or the top zip lining goes away from you, and then the bottom zip lining goes towards you. So it would look like this. Ta-da. So that's the plan. I'm going to pull some tape off, maybe. And then I'm going to center this where I'd like it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the bottom over here in the far corner, leaving my threads long. I'm going to start down here, sew all the way across. Is that what I want to do? Yes. I want to go all the way across, and then I'm going to go up, then I'm going to drop the pocket down, and then we'll sew all the way across and then come back down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch the sides of the zippers really good back and forth until closed. Except I'm leaving the bottom open. I am leaving the bottom open because I'm going to turn the bag out there. Whoops. So that's what your pocket looks like. So you can see I'm leaving it open so I can turn it out. So we are at the final stages of putting this bag together. So you should have one back panel, which makes up from the top bottom panel and the bottom back panel with your D-rings attached. That is all ready to go. Then you have your front panel, which we have done nothing to except find the center on the top. Make sure you found the center up here. Then you have one main inside lining that we have done nothing to except find the center on the top. And then we have the inside where we have done our zipper pocket. We did not finish the bottom on that zipper pocket. You're welcome to do that if you'd like and just turn from the inside to the bottom of the bag. Your choice. I will be birthing from that hole, and find the center of that bag or from that panel, and then you need your zipper tape that we butlered and attach the zipper tab. And then you need your double-sided sticky tape. So well, Nefarious, guess what I didn't do? I didn't find the center of my zipper tape. So let's go back and find that real quick. Now, it doesn't matter from here what we do, which panel we do, doesn't matter. What I like to do is the side that has the pocket, I like to put against the side that doesn't have anything. And then the side that's got the slip pocket on the outside goes against the panel that doesn't have anything. Your choice. This is your bag. You can do whatever you want. But that's what I like to do. I could just be weird. And I'm going to do centers with the right side of the lining matching up against the wrong side of the zipper. So that's fine. And then we'll take that top off. And then we'll take my main panel, put it right side down to the right side of the zipper tape, lining up my centers, and then going all the way down the edges here. I'm gonna grab a clip, and we'll go down the other side. Grab another clip. And I'm going to take this to the machine. I am going to sew this together at 1/4 of an inch. Then I'm going to flip it, and then I'm going to top stitch at 1/8 of an inch. And then I will repeat the exact same process to this. So let's go back to the sewing machine. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and get this baby going. 1/4. I'm going to flip it out. So this next piece is preference. Do as you feel fit. I am going to trim this down a smidge. Mostly because I'm curious if it works. Push that down. And then we are going to finger press that down. I'm going to use some clippy whippies. Finger press that down, and then I am going to top stitch. Alright, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Oh, my sweet Mercy Brown. Haha. Then I'm going to put the right side down, the wrong side of the zipper, using a clip to hold that in place. I'm going to go the opposite direction, using a clip to hold that in place. And then I'm going to 1/4 inch stitch the same way I did on the other one. So let's do that. Then we are going to do the same thing again. Flip it. Stick a clip there to help hold her in place. Alright guys, we are almost there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and trim my D-rings down. Whoops. Trim. Maybe I should hold on to it. What do you guys think? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And then I'm going to put right side to right side for both the lining and the exterior. Alright, once you do that, the next piece we need to look at is actually at the zipper area. So you want your zipper tab to fold, I'll just show you, to fold like this, so that the buckle goes toward the exterior. So that's what we want to do there. And then you want to grab the lining and kind of like pull it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what we're doing. So it should kind of look a little bit like that. And on the side that doesn't have the zipper tab, you're going to want to push those zipper teeth up. Just like this, kind of like imagining that there's like a buckle there. And then you're going to do the same exact thing. Lining up, creating a pretty butterfly, pulling that apart, and then realizing you ran out of clips. Alright, so everything is good. Get this clip out of the way. So we are going to sew all the way around at 1/4 inch. Back stitching really good at the beginning and the end. Alright, so after we get done sewing all the sides, we need to box our corners. So we are going to just kind of like, maybe, possibly, give me the bag. Thank you. So you're going to pull your corner nice and tight like this. And then what I've liked to do is now you can absolutely butterfly these open. You can do that if you choose. Or I like to like sandwich them down like that, where they go the opposite direction. That's what I like to do, keeping my seams nice and flush and straight. Going to do is I'm going to stitch this at 1/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to turn around and go back, and then I'm going to stitch like a scant 1/4 of an inch, like just barely to the side of it, just to make sure it's good and secure, because I don't want these to come off. They shouldn't, but you never know. Someone could put like a bowling ball in your bag, and I'm making sure that a bowling ball isn't going to rip the seams out. Now the vinyl is absolutely going to be the hardest part of it, but I mean, you get the vinyl done, you're halfway there. Canvas and waterproof canvas and vinyl, when it heats up, is way more pliable to turn out. So I'm going to go heat this up, and I'm going to turn it out, and I'll be right back. So I just realized I did the entire pocket without the video being on. So just really quick, I folded the pocket down from the shortest side, 1/2 inch in on both sides, pulled it taut, and then top stitched at 1/8 of an inch. Then I folded the pocket in after it was all sewn up, and then I just made everything tucked in. So just so you can see it, maybe, there is the Elowyn. That is the large. This is the Elowyn at the regular size. And then the Elowyn Mini. I want to thank you all for sewing along with me today. As you saw, the Elowyn is very much a beginner-friendly bag, and it's a blank canvas through and through. I can't wait to see everything that you're making, so make sure that you're not just tagging K&A Custom Fabrics, but your girl Nefarious Magic Hat. If you like this video and can't wait to see more, make sure you're liking and subscribing down below. So for now, ta-ta, and I'll see you around.